Hi, everyone from the Global Strength Summit 2022. Good day to all of you. My name is Jeremiah Teo, and I'm the Charisma Business Coach. Once again, I just want to say thanks to Jay for inviting me to be part of this Summit speakers group. And I'm just honored and privileged to have this half an hour with you, to serve you, and to add value to you. And without further ado, let's begin today's workshop that is called Charisma, Connect, and Inspire in today's virtual and social world. You might be thinking, Jeremiah, why do we have to connect and inspire in today's virtual social world? Because COVID-19 pandemic had happened, and God knows what happens in the future. We need to be future ready in interacting with people around us and to influence others to be the best versions. But how do we do so? And how do we integrate charisma in our own life to be the best versions and to create win-win relationships with our customers, friends, and people that we work closely with? Those are the questions we will look in today with great details. And the learning outcome for today's workshop will be number one, we will look at 3 myths of charisma and to understand the definition of charisma. Is it true that charisma is all about the eloquence, the attraction, the magnetism, the good looks, or is it something more beyond charisma? That will take some time to explore the 3 myths of charisma. And secondly, we're looking to the 5 empowering mindset of charisma in public speaking. Why is it important to be charismatic in public speaking? Because we cannot avoid public speaking in our daily life, be it one-to-one, one-to small group, or one to hundreds and thousands, be online or in person. There are always opportunities or inevitable moments we need to do so. But can we do well and to impact well as well when we are given the opportunities? So look at charisma-related empowering mindsets in a short while for the second half of the workshop. But before I begin with the first part, I want to share my story to help you understand who exactly is Jeremiah Teo and why does he have the credibility to share with me about charisma, about business, about personal confidence, and etc. So I want to bring you down the narrative road for my journey 12 years ago. Right now, I'm 33 years old. I was born and raised in Singapore, and as a Singaporean male, I would need to serve in the army, compulsory mandatory for 2 years. I did my obligation and I finished that in 2009 December. So in 2010 January, that was when I started my coaching career 12 years ago at the age of 21. And after serving in the army, I had to wait for 9 months before going to the university. And I had a good mate in church. His name is Elgin. He approached me and said, hey, Jeremiah, now you have 9 months of free time. What are you going to do with your free time? Are you going to just play games, movies, or are you going to work, save, or invest in personal growth? If so, why not join me as a coach to teachers and students in schools? And honestly, right, as an introvert and INFJ personality, I never enjoyed public speaking. I hated the idea. Why would I want to put myself in the spot of being judged by people, being criticized, and just given nasty comments? I don't want to take that opportunity or risk, right? But there's one thing that he taught me with the paradigm shift that even to today, as a business owner of a 6 to 7 figures coaching company, and also right as a future husband to be, as a son to my parents, and etc., many other roles in life, I learned that public speaking is inevitable. And he told me in 3 scenarios, he said, Jeremiah, do you know that if you want to do well in university, you have to do public speaking for your group work, projects, and presentation? I said, fair enough. I think that's expected. Great. Secondly, he told me, Jeremiah, if you want to do well in life, you want to excel in your workplace, you need public speaking to communicate clearly to your audience, your bosses, collaborate well with colleagues, and to close, to sell to your clients. You never know what is in life and what you need to be ready for in your career. And granted, but I want to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, what really got me was the third point, and it said, Jeremiah, do you want to get married? And I said, gosh, Elgin, what are you saying? He told me, if you want to get an ideal wife, if you want to marry the dream lady of your life, you need to do well in public speaking. Why? Because who will want to marry someone who is not confident in public speaking, right? If we have a choice, we want to meet someone who is confident in sharing, in the words of clarity, communication, expression, etc. So that being said, I had no reasons to reject him anymore. I went into that deep learning curve. I hated the journey, but it was from hatred to a love journey of learning, growth, and entrepreneurship. So you can see on the photos, right? That was when I was starting out as a coach to students. And eventually in 2015, I had a chance and opportunity to be a keynote speaker to parents and students and many other individuals, in Singapore. Afterwards, I went into corporate training, and as known as a charisma coach, I was able to serve these sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and finally, right, while trying to grow myself and my business, I ventured into Sydney and to go on to meet more amazing individuals, to learn from them and to coach them to become better individuals, leaders with greater charisma, discovery, and mastery. So that is my story. And this is just a glimpse of the organization I worked with since 2010 until 2022. So I've served more than 100 organizations. I've coached more than 1,000 clients with more than 10 nationalities. And that's my growth journey for the past 12 years. And that alone, today, what I want you guys to have as takeaway, number one is that everyone, including you and me, everyone has what it takes to be an impactful, confident, and value-adding leader. But the question is, how do we get there? Why is it important? And how do we become this individual? But in order to understand the secret or the root empowerment, we need to know about charisma, because charisma is everywhere. Even if one ignore it, everyone has charisma. And you and I have charisma, but we need to know what exactly is charisma in today's world's definition, and what is charisma in our own life as well. So number one, charisma, based on dictionary.com, right, the conventional wisdom platform, it says that charisma is a spiritual power or personal quality that gives an individual influence or authority over large numbers of people. And the key word is personal quality and also influence. I want to quote the world's famous renowned leadership expert, John C. Maxwell. He says that everyone's a leader. Why? Because everyone is influence. Therefore, leadership is influence. You and I, as leaders, we have influence to serve people, to add value, be it in a good way or in a bad way. We can control and choose how do we add value to others. So that's something that we want to look at, the personal quality, the personal influence. And even though, right, many of you might not be Christians, but again, right, I want to share this Christian wisdom from the Bible. Again, this is universal truth, right? Be as a Christian or not, I do see the universal benefit of wisdom from this verse itself, which is from the book of 1 Peter 4:10, chapter 4, verse 10. It says that each of you should use whatever gift, parenthesis, charisma, you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace, parenthesis, charis, in its various forms. You might be thinking, Jeremiah, why is there like parenthesis, charisma, charis? Because do you know that the New Testament of the Bible wasn't written in English? Originally was written in Greek language. So if we want to look at the etymology of charisma, we can't just look at the contemporary century definition of charisma. We need to understand the etymology, the history, the origin of the word charisma. And 2,000 years ago, this word charisma was being used. And you can see here, not like what we have thought, like attraction, eloquence, magnetism, and etc., charm. But here you can see in the parentheses, the Greek word, charisma or charisma, all right, is the word gift. And as well, right, if you look at the root word, the main word in the morphology, the making up of the word itself, the structure of the word itself, Charis or charis is a root word, and here it means grace. Grace literally means undeserved favor that is not because you earn it, but it's just freely given to you. So what does it mean, right? As we look from the wisdom of the Bible itself, the English term charisma or charisma is from the Greek word charisma. All right, as I mentioned, the same way, but different pronunciation, English and Greek pronunciation. It means favor freely given or gift of grace. That being said, you and I have the natural gift in us. But the question is, are we nurturing our natural gift? As leaders, we know that what we don't nurture will be lost, even though we have the talents, the gifts. If we don't grow them or develop them, they'll be discarded or just deteriorate over time. So we have the responsibility to grow our charisma, not just for our own life, but to serve people as well. But then the question is, how can we then integrate charisma in our daily life and use it to be an impactful, confident, and public speaking or value-adding public speaker? So allow me to share with you this amazing author, New York Times bestseller, James Clear. He wrote this book, Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. And the word atomic is really interesting. It's a pun itself. And let's look at the root word atom. Atom means bright, really the smallest particle in the study of science, chemistry. And if we add the suffix IC and have the word atomic right, it means that when we have the right order of the small particles, it can create tremendous exponential impact, explosive impact. What it says is that habits can be explosive, but through small effective changes. So let's look at what James Clear talked about the effective realm of habits growth. The first layer is the layer of outcomes. That being said, right, if you want to lose weight, we want to eat well, exercise, go to the gym, run like 5 miles, 10 miles a day. And the level is focused on changing your results, losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship. But based on his teaching and based on the coaching principle itself, outcome-based growth is less effective or sustainable. Why is that so? Because what if I don't feel like exercising today? The more I try to be in a state of losing weight, sometimes it can be counter-effective and we might just lose the momentum. So outcome-based is not the most sustainable. And in his argument, processes or lifestyle-oriented process will be more important because that is not just about doing the action. It's about having a new routine. It's about just going to the gym without trying to do the bicep, getting used to the lifestyle, to that you're always driving to the gym, you're always buying the salad. It's about the lifestyle, the cultivation, the system. But finally, what is most effective actually is not about the what, but it's about the who. It's about your identity. Why am I doing this conference with you? Because for me, I am an value-adding business coach that wants to inspire, connect, serve, and impact my clients to be the best version of themselves. Any minute I have is opportunity to serve and to add value. That's why I do what I do. The reason behind my actions and my commitment. In this case, right, when you have the clarity of identity, you will keep doing what you want to do. Say, for example, losing weight, going to the gym. It's not because you're a person who is going to the gym. You are a person who prioritizes health, and you want to invest well in your bodily, in what you have, the resources, the physical health itself. So that's why you do what you do, because you know who you are exactly. So let me illustrate here that when you look at charisma itself, it's not just an outside in behavioral modification process that focuses on short-term, immediate positive changes in personal confidence. It's not like Pavlov test. It's not a behaviorism kind of like thing. It's not that once you're being conditioned, you can have charisma. It's not about that. We as humans, we are creative beings. We have much more than what is seems to be mechanics or robotic. We have emotions. We have something that makes us special. And to live out that potential in our life, we need to realize that charisma itself is a journey of inside out, identity-based transformation, which focuses on long-term, not shortcut, long-term sustainable positive changes in personal confidence, such as, right, what you do does not always define who you are. In fact, it is so not effective in the long term, in the marathon of life. What you do might give you the sprint, the adrenaline rush. Like, for example, some clients I met, they try to prove that they are worthy, they're successful on Instagram, have cars, money, to show that, I'm of a certain status. But we know the truth in our heart. We might be just putting on a facade or mask to portray the fake life that we have. So what you do does not always define who you are. It might be an act on its own. But I want to show you the good news. The effortless way to create that tremendous habit change and to live out your charisma, to serve others and to serve yourself well. And that is when you know who you are. It always define what you do. That you're not confused about your lifestyle, that you are certain why you do what you do in life, that you're certain about why you're running a business because of your identity. Be as a responsible father, be as a value-adding entrepreneur, be as a confident daughter, or even for me, right, as a beloved child of God. I love taking opportunity to share and to serve because I want to steward or manage my life well to the point that I know I've done my best for the day. So when we know who we are, it always define and influence what we do in a much effortless manner with unstoppable momentum. So the first question I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is that, do you know who you are? It's a simple yet complicated question, but once you get clarity, it sets you on unstoppable momentum in getting over the roadblocks, the obstacles that you want to get to where you want your results attainment. So this is the first thing I want to share with you. But again, we need to look at the concept of self-confidence. Jeremiah, is self-confidence same as charisma? And the answer is no, right? Simple is no. But what exactly is self-confidence? Let's take a look first, shall we? Self-confidence describes the attitudes, the beliefs that people hold regarding the identities, abilities, and strength. In addition, people who have high levels of self-confidence may feel sure that they will achieve what they set out to do and maintain a steady sense of control over their lives. So that is self-confidence, attitudes, and beliefs that we hold to our identities, abilities, and strength. But why is it different from charisma? The things that we need to know, the clearer we know about our who and why, the better we will discover how to be a confident person as ourselves. And that being said, right, self-confidence is primarily not about beauty or behavioral change. Rather, self-confidence is a fruit of charisma. Just like as you grow a tree, right? What's your favorite fruit, ladies and gentlemen? Is it orange tree? Is it like apple fruit? Mine, right, is durian, D-U-R-I-A-N. It's the heavenly fruit from Southeast Asia that is a love-hate relationship. Many people will see as like rotten flesh, but when you get to appreciate the smell, the aroma of it is irresistible, right? Check it out on Google. What exactly is durian? D-U-R-I-N. But just like how you want to get a fruit, you can't create a fruit. You need to focus on the tree, the nourishment, the fertility of the soil to nourish a tree so that to a point when the tree is nourished, is able to bear flower and to bear fruit. So when it comes to charisma, it's about your identity. It's about your self-acceptance. If you are able to accept yourself of who you are as an individual, the greater the fruit of charisma, the greater the fruit of self-confidence will be. Just like Nick Vujicic you see on the picture on the left and Lisa Velasquez picture on the right. Nick Vujicic is a limitless evangelist, motivation speaker who has ministered to 500 million plus people over the past 15 years of his career. And he's happily married to a beautiful wife with 4 kids, right? Amazing life that many people be envious of. But I want to share with you a bit about Lisa Velasquez because right for her, she actually took up the moniker that was bestowed upon her, that is the world's ugliest woman. And who wants to have that moniker, right? Or the title? But she took it from strength to strength. And she used it to speak against cyberbullying, to a point that if you look up for her name on Instagram or YouTube, you see that she has hundreds, thousands of followers. On Instagram, I believe about at least 750,000 followers. That is immense influence that she is displaying. Why? Because she's able to accept herself. Remember, the stronger the self-confidence of who you are as an individual, the greater your self-confidence will be. And self-confidence is a fruit of charisma. So stop chasing the fruit. Start focusing on the tree. Start focusing on the soil fertility, nourishment, and the watering of the tree. That is your identity of who you are as a person. All right. And we have about 10 to 15 minutes left. Let's get started with some myth busting. And first up is that only good-looking people can be charismatic. Of course, I want to bring you to the point of standard measurement, something that's objective for assessment. That is the golden ratio of beauty. Based on scientific research, we know that golden ratio is a mathematical ratio that seems to appear recurrently in beautiful things in nature as well as in other things that are seen beautiful. It can be in architecture, it can be in the mountains, nature, landscape. But if you look at the plastic surgery measurement of beauty, right, when they use it to see what's the ratio, there's a beautiful number that is called the phi, that is 1.618, and that's a Fibonacci number itself. So that is a golden ratio of beauty people measure. But then the question again, only good-looking people can be charismatic. Is it true? But let's be honest, there's some people who are really good-looking, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Robert Downey Jr., Angelina Jolie, and Emma Watson. They're gorgeous individuals, right? They're elegant, they're beautiful, and they do exude tons of charisma when they speak in public. But again, let's look at not so good-looking people, like we saw in Lisa Velasquez's story, Nick Vujicic, Jack Ma, popular, famous entrepreneur from China, one of the richest businessmen in China. These well-known public speakers who are deemed not so good-looking, but they are very confident when you listen to the way they spoke, in the videos, platforms. They are very, very confident and charismatic. So the truth is that, remember, charisma is a personal quality that gives an individual influence or authority over large numbers of people. So the good news that you and I can hold on to is that not so good looking people can be charismatic too. So that is myth number one, bust, right? That is, charisma is personal quality. Anyone can discover and develop charisma. Anyone, including you and I, can be charismatic. The second myth might be a bit complicated, just bear with me, is charisma can be built quickly through conversational and public speaking skills. And I want to be honest with you, there's a yes and no to this answer, but let's go into one side of the coin first. That is, charisma, or rather conversational and public speaking skills, do make you look impressive in front of people, especially on a date, right? Compared to someone who can speak well, who can present well with the right confident body language, who would you choose? Is it that person or someone else who is confident in the composure, steadiness, the eloquence, the clarity of words shared? I think most of us choose the latter because that is a certain kind of confidence, practice in conversational skills. But again, we need to look at the meaning of impressiveness and charismatic, such that, right? I want to remind you that being impressive is not equivalent to being charismatic. Why is that so? Because being impressive is short-term change, but being charismatic is a long-term transformation. We talk about, remember in the beginning, that the charisma journey is a long-term journey. It's an inside-out, sustainable transformation. It's not just conditioned behavioral change, but it's long-term transformation inside out. So that itself, right? Conversational public speaking skills do make you look impressive in front of people, but being impressive is not the same as being charismatic. So that is one thing to look at. But let's go to the other side of the coin, the other side of the argument. That is, conversational and public speaking skills can build your charisma. It's like a Lego, right? You want to build Avengers or Death Star. You need that one block at a time to build your ideal building a Lego piece of work, artwork. And I want to share with you the Lego mindset in the sense that the Lego building mindset is like conversational skills is the blocks that you have, but we need to use the right skill set, attitude, the mindset to do so. That is why charisma is likened to having conversational and public speaking skills plus positive mindsets and personal leadership. Only with that, you can have the long-term transformation that is charisma. But what if you don't have the positive mindsets? Rather, even you have a conversational and public speaking skills, but you have negative mindsets and poor leadership, that is being said, poor discipline. What it leads to will be low self-confidence. You just don't feel good with who you are. And it snowballs and you create that unstoppable momentum in a negative way, how you see yourself. So it is great news if you're using on the right track, but it's a nightmare if you're going on the downward spiral. So let's share in 1 quick minute, what are the positive mindsets that are important to build charisma? That is number 1, you can discover charisma through strengths in you. We talk about Global Strength Summit, Strengths Finder. All of us are strengths, but do you know your strength? And are you utilizing your strength for your own personal growth and serving people around you? That is a question I'll leave for you. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that you can create, or rather you can't create charisma, you have charisma. You can discover charisma as long as you don't give up, right? Giving up is definitely more than 0% of success probability. If we give up, it's just 0%. But if we work hard, we persevere well, we have a higher chance of succeeding in life. So that's number 1. You can, as number 2, you can discover charisma as long as you don't give up. And thirdly, you can discover charisma when you're really happy who you are. Are you really happy who you are? If your answer is yes, your energy will be naturally radiant. You're not faking it. It's not a facade, but when you're really happy who you are, your energy is contagious. It helps people to enjoy your companionship. That is the power of self-satisfaction or contentment in who you are as an individual. So this is the summary of the positive mindset. And again, right, we look at both sides of the argument. So yes, with conversational public speaking skills, with positive mindsets and personal leadership, you can build charisma. But if not right, you would need more than that. Not just conversation skills, you need the self-acceptance to be who you can be as a charismatic individual. So thirdly, it's just a very simple reminder that everyone can find charisma because you have the personal quality. I have it as well. Charisma cannot be copied, and you can discover personal quality through positive mindsets. So that is the next for all of you to learn about the myths of charisma. But shortly, I do want to bring you to public speaking realm in the quick 5 minutes because of time. Surprisingly, right, we look at the top 10 fears of life. Many people would cite fear of death as number 2 based on psychologytoday.com. And it says that, right, the fear of public speaking is commonly stated as number 1 fear. And that is just fascinating. Now, how can we deal with that effectively to overcome with an empowering mindset is number 1. We need to see that public speaking is a form of conversation. Like right now, I'm imagining myself having conversation with Jane, with Spencer, with Sarah, right? Different walks of life. Whatever I'm sharing, I know that I'm touching base with your individual journey and experiences. And that is the power of conversation, because at a time itself, you can be speaking to one person or one group of people. Remember, even in a large platform, you're not speaking to thousands of people, you're speaking to someone one at a time. Public speaking is actually a form of conversation between you and one person or group at one time. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that when we speak with passion, again, it brings a contagious energy. And I want to introduce you to this philosophy that comes from Japan culture, that is Ikigai. Again, right, Ikigai is a great tool for career coaching. All right, just a hint and life hack for you guys. And when we look at this 4 realms of questions, what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs, you see that there's a certain intersection that gives some glimpses of passion That is right. Passion happens when you know who you are, or rather you know what you're good at and what you love. When you know what you're good at and what you love, your competency and your love for you know your passion, you know your hobbies, that becomes can be a calling for your career, a longevity. And this is all the more examples with great speakers on TED who are passionate about education, introverts influenced by Susan Cain, and Simon Sinek, who is passionate about leadership. What is your passion that you can speak confidently about? There'll be the one coaching question I'll leave with you when it comes to passion itself. So next, enjoy the conversation, because when you enjoy the conversation, right, it's hard for people to find it resentful or boring, because when we enjoy the conversation, when we enjoy public speaking, that energy is contagious. It helps with the engagement, it helps with the interest level, and it helps the overall learning progress as well. So that's number one. Even when Kelly McGonigal talks about stress, or Bill Gates talks about saving the world, right? It's a stressful topics, but they are enjoying the conversation. Therefore, they are effective in what they're saying. And this is my favorite, right, ladies and gentlemen. This is really what helps me, because anytime, even before this seminar happened, as an INFJ, an introvert personality, right, I always felt nervous. But how do I remain confident no matter what kind of level of nervousness or anxiety I feel? Is to remind myself that right now I'm a swan. As you see a swan swimming, right, you can see the elegance of a swan, really beautiful, gorgeous sight. But do you know that under the water, he or she is just paddling crazily, because right, they are trying to stay afloat elegantly. But to do that, they need to paddle really hard. So sometimes in life, I want to encourage you, it's really okay to be nervous, because our main responsibility is not to succumb to our nervousness, but to bring our best version to serve others. Only when we serve others to create a win-win relationship or situation, we're able to grow our charisma in a certain level of influence. So remember, it's okay to be nervous, but remember to cope with that, to bring out your best version, not to wear a facade, and just do your best and to add value to serve people. That in a way you can transfer the nervous energy into much more positive energy to your audience as well. Number 5, final one, just be yourself. When you be yourself, nothing beats that. You can only be the second best of the people you're trying to become, but you're always the best version when you be the best top-rated version of yourself. That is an unfair advantage that you and I hold, because you are special, you have charisma. You have something that I don't have, and it's a fair game, because in reverse, I have something you don't have as well. So that's where we can complement, work together, collaborate, and to work together as a community, in the Global Strength Summit community, to serve other people. Okay, so just to recap what we learned today, remember, self-confidence is not charisma. Self-confidence is a fruit of charisma. When you grow the tree of charisma, being your identity, your self-acceptance of who you are as an individual, the greater your self-confidence will be as a fruit that you sow and reap as a result of your investment, your nourishment in who you are, your personal growth. So that's number 1. And again, we look at myth number 1. It's not true that only good-looking people can be charismatic, because we've seen the example of Nick Vujicic, Lizzie Velasquez, and Jack Ma, that charisma is personal quality. Anyone can discover and develop charisma. That includes you and I in the journey of being charismatic. Number 2, charisma can be built quickly through conversational and public speaking skills when you have the Lego builder mindset, when you have the positive mindset, personal leadership, and also the conversational building blocks of public speaking skills. You're able to use it well to build your charisma. And finally, everyone has charisma. You and I have charisma. And as well, we talk about the empowering mindset behind effective public speaking. So in this 35 minutes so far, this is what we've done. But I want to share with you some special reminder as a closing. That is right. What is the purpose behind charisma? Remember, each of you should use whatever gift, charisma, you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace, charis, in its various forms. What does it mean is that the purpose of charisma in us is God's gift for us to serve others. That when we are able to help others, we are able to discover the fulfillment of life, that we are able to help someone, we are also getting better. And I want to encourage you, when it comes to charisma, it's not always about the contemporary definition of be yourself, self-centered, and all about yourself. But we can be the best version of self if we are able to serve people. And as we help them, we're helping ourselves as well. All right. So that is for the workshop itself. And as appreciation for your time, and so Jay, thank you again for having me in this summit. And I want to give this special offer to all of you in this workshop itself. That is, if you've benefited and you want to grow more, not just as an individual, but as a leader, as a business owner. For me, as a charisma business coach, I do help entrepreneurs and sales leaders to progress in their business revenue to 5 to 6 figures and even 7 figures in a certain period of 3 months to 6 months. And as a special offer to you guys, I want to help you guys to be better entrepreneurs. So this is my LinkedIn, where for me, I help life coaches and entrepreneurs to find a minimum 10 to 100K under 45 minutes without them spending any cent on marketing and advertisement. And that being said, right, if you have benefited from this workshop, I want to give you a free gift. That is number one. I want to give you a book that is called 10X Sales Performance to help you in where you are and to discover hidden revenue, untapped revenue in your business pipeline. There are 12 business areas of growth that are being written, expounded in this book. Download it, go to the website, and all I need is just your email and your first name, and you can get it for free.